Hi, intrepid viewers, Dr. Lena. It's Sunday morning in Australia, and it's actually a miracle I'm here. I was up very late last night at a Balkan psychedelic dance party. No, I didn't know what it was either, but I had a great time, fabulous time. Haven't had a lot of sleep. So, just launching into this on the back of the State of the Union address, this will be a very quick video because I have to go and join Hogarth and hopefully Lady G on Hogarth's channel in 20 minutes. So I hope you guys come across and watch that, and I'm sure we'll be covering a lot of issues on that. But in the meantime, good on Uncle Joe, who produced a sterling State of the Union address, only marred by, of course, that extraordinary clown, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I thought he handled it very well. And the only thing I was sort of hoping he'd go further when she was talking about the young woman killed by an illegal. We've all got to be careful of that term, you know. And I would have liked him to say, yes, and perhaps we can also offer our condolences to the families of the other 11,000 Americans who were shot last year by their fellow Americans. I think that was an opportunity lost, but that's small crumbs. He did very well and needed to, and not a minute too soon, and that was good. I think everyone was massively relieved. But how about the rebuttal by that really bizarre woman? I thought it was a sketch from SNL or something because I didn't see it at the time. I only saw a clip afterwards, and then, you know, there's a comedian, I think she calls herself Betty Bowers, America's Best Christian, and her work's hilarious. I thought I was watching a Betty Bowers sketch. Bizarre. But first of all, so, excuse me, big night, too much talking. Now, the Yeti is scrambling, getting money together. Despite being a multiple billionaire, he mysteriously can't seem to lay his hands on much. Now, we know that Chubb, who do security, and obviously they operate as loan sharks as well, might be doing some of it, the big bit, but what I want to look at is depending where he borrows the money from, it could be a conflict of national interest. And I don't think it should be left to one woman, the financial monitor in New York, to be looking at all this stuff. So will anyone take it seriously to look at the sources of money that the Yeti may or may not produce? Look at the sources. Has anyone got any teeth looking at these sources? Okay, let's have a look. Judgment. Oh, look at these. All right, so this is talking literally about the judgments coming down on his furry little implanted head. These are only going to expand with this Empress energy, massive expansion. He still thinks of himself as the King of Wands. I think there's part of the Yeti's back brain that actually still can't conceive of the type of problems he's facing. He still thinks of himself, even though he's getting twitchy, nervous, less articulate by the hour, if that was possible. He's sitting there draped in ermine, symbolically, that's bad shiny suits, substitute that for the ermine. He still has the power, I guess I'm trying to say, to attract money. But the problem is, I think doors are slamming. You know, look at these twos, crossroads, juggling, manipulation. he's trying to play one off against the other. And I think what might happen, because so far we haven't heard of the kids, i.e. the demon spawn, helping. I don't think they're prepared to put up any of their own money, even if they have those sort of sums of money, but they might be going into bat for him somewhere with this juggling and manipulation. I think he's issued instructions. Find me 200 million and you find me 300 million. Because he's always been a loving tower of support as a father, has he not? So I think this is also a crossroads for the family. Now, that didn't answer my question. So let me go again in the sense, I want to know now, will any money he get represent a security risk, national security? This used to be important to first world countries, but apparently not anymore. Will this be a national security breach, the money? For those learning tarot, just know that happens. Sometimes you ask a question and the cards say, well, you can't really ask this till you ask that. So it was about where is he looking was the last one. And now we want to see, will it involve a national security breach? Deep secrets and so forth. But look, with this question, I get 3 major arcana cards. They're the big guns out of 5. So this is other people, I think, because the Yeti's incapable of strategy, right? He's a blurter. So this is someone else strategizing. Again, we have a young person here speaking to people. I think this is one or both of the sons. Here, okay, now we get to the big cards. I think he's so desperate, he will make a foolish decision that will remain secret for quite some time, obviously too long, because we know the Justice Department is operating on tortoise speed. But eventually, this is the Wheel of Fortune, this will eventually bring him undone in terms of karma, fate, and destiny. We've been having these conversations for 5 years, but it's like everything, the pool reduces till there'll be nothing left. So I'm going to say, yes, he will get money from a dodgy source. The government will know about it eventually. They'll take forever to act. I might have expired by the time the DOJ grinds through this stuff. But it'll be a lesson for the nation. And this is one of the things I think to keep in mind through the whole Yeti experience is on the other side, please, big dem win. They have to root and branch, clean out these departments and what's going on. Because I think the Dems need 2 terms to actually repair some of the damage, because they haven't done enough, but they've been trying to get policies through. Imagine that. You remember policies that actually affect people. Blocked every inch of the way. And I think that would be a much more effective ad campaign for the Dems too. State by state, naming the Republicans who vote against infrastructure, who vote against the border. Because people don't get it. 70% of people, if not 85% of people, do not follow what's going on. It's much easier to kick back and whinge and go, oh, they're all the same. My life doesn't get any better. I'm not doubting that. I'm part of the blob as well. But if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So let that be our mantra. Okay. Now, Elon Musk, just when you think he couldn't be worse, He's aiming for records here. You know, this is a man who spends every waking moment of his life saying, how can I pay my workers less? How can I give them the worst possible conditions in first world countries? Oh, I know. He's now working on something to try and make unions unconstitutional. This is what one of the richest men in the world is doing, how to break the backs of unions. We had 40 years of that with Reaganism, Thatcherism, all the isms. And that's what's led us to the place where you have the working poor. People are working hand to mouth. People are working 2 jobs and can't pay their rent. This is thanks to breaking the backs of the unions and collective bargaining. And that's what he wants to reinforce. Okay. Now, just a second, while I am getting on to our next snippet, a few of you have written, and I'm going to put the clip up. Remember to put the clip up, Lena. Malcolm Turnbull, one of Australia's prime ministers, no longer in power, but quite a reasonable man, a lawyer, etc., even though he batted for the other side. He had to deal with Trump, and he's given these interviews in the US about what it was like to actually try and have a conversation with the Yeti. And he's quite funny in his descriptions, but basically he could not believe how infantile this guy was. So if you want a bit of a giggle, Malcolm Turnbull, I'll put that up. Okay, so we've all got to Judge Cannon. When are they going to remove her? Are they going to remove her? Are we just fantasizing? She keeps blowing things up in the Jack Smith case, and so far the system has not supported Jack Smith. So now there was a document called America First. Oh, they're always liberty, freedom, and America First, aren't they? It's a brainchild of Stephen Miller. Okay. And he sent an amicus brief to Judge Cannon. Let's have a look here. Is Judge Cannon ever going to be removed from this case? Excuse me, Judge Cannon. Is she going to go, or do we have to wait for this miserable, inadequate legal system to stumble through these big cases? What's happening, Elon? Oh, okay. I'll have to pull a clarifier. I was happy at first, out in the cold, they're having to make a decision, evaluate whether she's qualified enough to move forward. But then I got the Knight of Cups sitting pretty. You got the Strength card. This is why I have to do some clarifiers. Is this the strength of the system or strength of her behind the scenes nefarious support systems? Ugh. Twitch, twitch, twitch. Okay. Will she survive in this case? Will Aileen Cannon continue in this case? Will she continue? Oh, this is a nerve-wracking job, I've got to tell you. 9 of Pentacles. Got 9 of Cups and 9 of Pentacles. Ugh. The Fool. No. It's like the universe is having a little joke. You think you're a tarot reader? Work this out. See the similarities. 9 of Cups, the smug merchant. Nine of Pentacles. Thing with the Nine of Pentacles, I'll point out in this context, the robes are slightly too big for the person. That's Eileen Cannon, which is in. But in case we didn't have enough twos, we've now got three of the four. Oh, that sort of thing. You know, we had these. It's so frustrating. She got the Strength card, but now the Fool card. I'm not going to say anything. You can let me know what you think. So we've got to pray for Jack Smith and pray for Farney. Oh, and a few days ago, I'll just share this story. It looked like the MAGA-driven GOP was going to launch an ethics case separately into Farney Willis, which would be like Hunter Biden. It would take months. It would achieve nothing, but it sucks the oxygen. And I was so disturbed, I rang Dave Johnson from Moonride, who lives in Australia. Dave, what are we going to do? And he was very calming, and I stopped hyperventilating. And after that, it turns out they don't have the jurisdiction to do it. So that's not going to happen. So prayers must abound, Barney and Jack Smith. Okay, guys. So I will put up the Malcolm Turnbull link because it is quite satisfying and I hope give you a giggle. So you guys take care and I'll see you in 7 minutes on Hogarth's Astrology, which is live stream. You can jump on and chat to us. Okay, guys, best wishes.